Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 4.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for ABC-7 at 4. I'm Nicole Gomez. Well, the investigation continues at Franklin High School after an El Paso ISD police officer shot and killed a man on campus this morning. We brought you this as breaking news on Good Morning El Paso, and our coverage continued on ABC-7 at noon. Now, all classes and activities were canceled for the day, and Franklin is located at the corner of Wrestler Drive and Red Road in West El Paso. And that's where we find ABC-7's Brianna Perez live with the latest. Brianna.
Yeah, Nicole, hours after shots were fired, police are still on the scene. El Paso ISD police are still blocking off entrances into the building. Now, behind me, you can see there's still red tape covering the Franklin Magnet Center. And of course, we do see EPISD police vehicles still surrounding that building. But I do want to show you video of how the scene looked as crews first arrived. We did see a body on the ground covered by a blanket in front of the center. We also saw window screens that appear to be torn and damaged from the front of that building. EPISD police have not said if this damage is related to today's incident. Before 6 a.m. this morning, the district said an EPISD police officer was involved in the shooting while investigating an early morning incident at the campus. Now we know a 50-year-old man is dead. Outside agencies are assisting El Paso ISD with the investigation. EPISD police also said there were some cross-country students that were on campus at the time of that shooting. Police say they were taken immediately into lockdown in a secure area of the school. Now, neighbors in the area that I spoke to say they were woken up to by the noise.
Just like I woke up and I just pretty much sirens, you know, I was just what's all that about? It definitely should have been de-escalated to a point where it wouldn't have happened on a school ground, because there's also kids that need to get their teachings in. I mean, it's barely the start of school, just for this to happen at the beginning is kind of crazy.
And coming up on ABC-7 at 5, we do hear from a cross-country student who was here this morning, and she heard those shots ring out. And we also hear how her coach took action. For now, reporting in West El Paso, Brianna Perez, ABC-7.
Brianna, looking forward to your live report coming up on ABC-7 at 5. Well, the Mexican government is accusing El Chapo's son of kidnapping cartel boss El Mayo and handing him to the U.S. Now, the Mexican Attorney General's office confirmed it is issuing charges against Joaquin Guzman Lopez, one of two jailed sons of the convicted Sinaloa cartel co-founder, who are awaiting trial in Chicago. The Mexican AG's office also said investigators have secured the vehicles and property believed to have been used in the act, seen here in these photos. Though they did not provide details, they also stated the airstrip where the flight originated has been identified. It is unclear how the Mexican government will prosecute its case against Guzman Lopez, with the ongoing investigation led by the U.S. Department of Justice. And authorities in Texas announced a major arrest regarding the 2022 incident where 53 migrants died after being left in a tractor trailer during the sweltering heat. Guatemalan officials assisted U.S. authorities in taking 7 people into custody. U.S. Attorney Jaime Esparza says after the extradition process, the alleged ringleader of the smuggling operation is among those apprehended.
Our indictment charges Miranda Orozco with 6 counts, all related to migrant smuggling resulting in death or serious bodily injury.
Authorities say the suspects knew the air conditioning unit in the vehicle wasn't working properly when they brought the migrants into the U.S. Let's take a break from the headlines and get to storm track weather. We've been tracking partly cloudy skies, and we're still tracking the heat. But Doppler, we're also tracking the potential to maybe see rain chances go up.
Yeah, another opportunity, maybe a pop-up thunderstorm like we had last night. Very isolated. Most folks tonight probably going to be more on the drier side than picking up any rain, but I know everybody loves to get some rain. It's been such a dismal monsoon that, boy, any drops we can get, we'll appreciate. But there's what's going on, Doppler radar. We're tracking some of these showers and storms down to the south of us, but you can see the movement directly north. Quite a bit of, well, not a lot of lightning with it, but we have a few lightning strikes in the far eastern portion of the county, right on Hudspeth, El Paso County. But look down to the south. There's Socorro Tornillo. Thunderstorm right here, which is moving northbound. So we're going to have certainly an opportunity tonight of seeing some rain. We're also going to be talking about the heat. It's still very hot out there. Take a look at the temperatures and Rain chances as we make our way into the weekend coming up.
Thank you, Doppler. Now, this is a live look at the United Center in Chicago. Tonight's the night Vice President Kamala Harris is set to formally accept her party's nomination, delivering one of the most consequential speeches of her career. While the Trump Vance ticket stretches from coast to coast, holding dual campaign events to court voters in key battleground states. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from the United Center in Chicago on this last night of the Democrats' convention.
In a week full of surprises, tonight, a moment guaranteed to make history. For the first time ever, a woman of color will formally accept a major party nomination for commander-in-chief. Vice President Kamala Harris addressed DNC supporters twice leading up to Thursday's primetime speech, taking the baton from President Joe Biden on Monday. On Tuesday, virtually dipping into the United Center from a rally in Milwaukee, reiterating one of her top campaign promises.
When I am President of the United States and Congress passes a bill to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade, I will proudly sign it into law.
On Wednesday, America met the Democratic Party's new favorite Midwestern dad. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz largely set the jokes aside, instead leaning into his family values.
Leaders don't spend all day insulting people and blaming others. Leaders do the work. So I don't know about you, I'm ready to turn the page on these guys. So go ahead, say it with me. We're not going back.
Outside the United Center, a reminder that Harris and Walz still have work to do to unite their party. A group of uncommitted delegates sitting in protest over the DNC's decision to leave the convention speaker lineup without a Palestinian-American voice. The Harris campaign dodged that question today.
As it relates to uncommitted delegates at this convention, we're proud and glad that they are here. We've worked to engage them throughout the convention.
Former President Donald Trump today visiting the southern border in battleground Arizona, again linking Harris directly to the Biden administration and his attacks on immigration.
We got to clean up our borders. We have to clean up our elections, or we're not going to have a country.
Trump's event followed one VP nominee, Senator J.D. Vance, held in Georgia, the Republican ticket stretching its campaign trail from coast to coast as the Democrats wrap things up tonight in the heartland. Other speakers tonight include Gabby Giffords and Gretchen Whitmer, and several of Harris's family members are also expected to appear tonight. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Chicago.
ABC News will air primetime coverage of the DNC starting at 7 p.m. tonight. You can also stream the event by downloading the KVIA News app and watch it on our website at kvia.com. And as the 2024 election heats up, dozens of fake celebrity endorsements have exploded on social media. The latest is a post Donald Trump shared on Truth Social. An artificial intelligence created image suggested Taylor Swift wanted her fans to vote for Trump. That is just one of the hundreds of misinformation posts on social media. Nonpartisan education group News Literacy Project has chronicled more than 550 unique instances of election-related misinformation. The News Literacy Project isn't measuring how many times these posts are shared, but some are in the tens of millions. Well, there's still more to come on ABC-7 at 4, what retiring baby boomers means for the economy, plus helping your child cope with traumatic events. An expert will join us live to explain how adults can play an essential role in helping our youth cope with these experiences. And in Storm Track weather, Doppler.
All right, here's the area in green. If we see some storms, they'll have a little bit added moisture to work with, so maybe a little bit heavier rainfall. This is going to be for Doñana County, out in portions, most of Luna County, but portions of Doñana County. Not a whole lot going on here in El Paso County, maybe a little pop-up storm, but I'll talk about it coming up in the weather.
This is ABC-7 at 4, where news comes first.
You're watching ABC-7, where news comes first.
There's something to be said about being prepared. Your work, your home, and the places in between are all impacted by weather. Here at ABC-7, we take weather very seriously. We leverage technology to accurately predict the conditions that impact your life. ABC-7's hour-by-hour future track forecast keeps you informed so you can plan your day. Our commitment is to keep you and your family safe when severe weather hits. We got a pretty nice
look for Chief Meteorologist Dr. Dave Spielman's Weather 101 column and weather trivia every week in the Spotlight.
Make your hard-earned dollars go further during the Labor Day sale at Furniture Row. Shop today, because the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend, or get 60 months no interest financing. The Labor Day sale on now at Furniture Row.
The savings, the service, the selection. It's massive at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso today. With 0 down on our massive selection of new Hyundais. And new Elantras only $199. New Sonatas only $249. New Tucson's only $269. Massive savings. 0 down and payments as low as $199 a month. And for a limited time, get no payments for 90 days on many new Hyundais. Massive savings again. The savings, the service, the selection. It's massive at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso today.
Of course, the GMC Terrain offers different drive modes. What about Weekend Warrior mode? Or you don't see that everyday mode? How about Out of the Office mode? Or even
Are you out of your mind?
Mode. Want a mode for everything? Sign and Drive is here. Get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 Terrain SLE for around $379 per month with 0 due at signing.
See your El Paso Las Cruces GMC dealers.
It's the Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out the Summit Firm for only $299.99 or get 60 months no interest and free shipping. The Labor Day sale on now at Denver Mattress.
Take it away.
Tonight.
This is amazing. We're feeling like,
Looking for fun?
Stop. No whammy.
Are you in luck?
Stop. Who doesn't want that? We all need that.
Press your luck tonight on ABC.
Download the KVIA Storm Track Weather and Traffic app, sponsored by Mattress Firm.
All right, so we're going to take you up to New Mexico State University, and you can see a few clouds out there. Nice day. Winds aren't blowing a whole lot. You know, some of the students walking around campus, getting accustomed to where their classroom is, and their actually second day of classes out there. But you can see some of the students kind of walking around, and hopefully they don't have too much homework that they're going to have to deal with for tonight. But we'll be watching the chance of a little isolated shower or storm to develop. We're already tracking some of the activity. This is not any big-time storms. A little bit of lightning there. You can see some of the showers making their way from the south to the north. A little bit heavier pocket of rain, although it's been kind of weakening just a bit right here. There's Socorro. There's Tornillo. Again, some lightning strikes here, so some thunderstorms, but they continue to make their way up towards the north. Now, realize a lot of folks are not going to see much rainfall at all tonight, so, you know, you might see a little distant storm out there. But look at the numbers. We're already in the triple digits, 101, 98 for you folks in Las Cruces. You already hit 100. 97 out there in Deming, and we have 97 up there at Truth or Consequences. All right, so here's the numbers today, updated. Hit a triple today. So now that gives us 51 on the year so far. This time last year, of course, we had 60. It was a record setter last year. You guys in Las Cruces, you hit a triple today, so now you have 37. This time last year, you had 46. And if you look at your planner for tonight, again, a little isolated renegade storm, certainly possible. Temperatures 98 at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at 97, 93 by 8 o'clock, and we'll keep that 20% chance of a shower or storm. So here's a look at our latest Future Track computer model, 6 o'clock tonight. Some of the storms, they'll be more plentiful out in our western counties. So these will develop more moisture. We talked about that earlier. They have a better moisture supply to work with, so better chance of some of those showers and storms. But again, we can't rule out the isolated cell developing, then making its way up towards the north. Tomorrow, we'll probably keep a slight chance, 10% chance of a thunder shower in there, but still a good bit of sunshine as the afternoon progresses. You can see some of these storms. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Better chance out to our western counties again. So from Columbus and Luna County up towards Deming, these showers and storms will continue to track up towards Silver City as well. We are going to be near the better moisture supply, but still not great for us, but there will be a slight chance of seeing one of those isolated showers and storms for the weekend as well. Rain chances at about 10%. So here's how it looks overnight tonight. 75. A sunset time, by the way, at 7:41, 20% chance of a thunder shower. Tomorrow, 10% chance of rain, but still another hot one. Another triple-digit day coming our way tomorrow. 103, so brace yourselves again. Las Cruces for you. Overnight lows down to 69, 20% chance of a storm later on tonight for you. 99 degrees, you're going to be right around 100, so another triple potentially for you folks on your Friday. Watch over the next several days. So here we go. 103, 100 on Saturday, so 2 days in addition to these triples, 98 once we head into Sunday. Then we start to cool things down. Better moisture supply moves in here. A little more cloud cover. Temperatures going to work their way down into the lower 90s. Haven't seen that in quite some time. And you guys in Las Cruces, too. Upper 90s, some mid 90s in here by the first part of the weekend. And your temperatures, too, going to start to go down with your rain chances at about 30%. We'll take a break. Be back after this.
Join ABC-7 and the El Paso Diocese for a broadcast of the Catholic Mass this Sunday at 9 a.m. on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
Because a leaky faucet doesn't always happen between Monday and Friday, PrimeTech Plumbing can be there anytime, anywhere. We install tankless water heaters and water filtration systems too. Ask about our outstanding warranties. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Call PrimeTech Plumbing.
With 2 words,
High,
low, you can win $10,000 at Sunland Park.
9 times every Saturday, 2 people win their share of $1.6 million.
High,
Low. Saturdays at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino. Bad sleep.
No, the worst.
You know, there's really no excuse for bad sleep. During the Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress.
Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or save up to $700 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and score a $300 gift.
Check out the Summit, just $299.99.
Or get 60 months, no interest, and free shipping.
The Labor Day sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
El Paso's Truck and SUV Center, Shamali Ford is cooking up hot Shamali deals all month long. All new 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew STXs and Expeditions, $7,500 off MSRP. New 2024 Ford Mustang Mach-E's, 0% APR for 60 months. New 2024 Ford Escapes, only $419 a month with 0 down.
Wow, that's a hot Shamali deal.
Right on the corner, right on the price. El Paso's Truck and SUV Center.
ShamaliFord.com. Start a new career and enroll now at Southwest University. Enroll today and become a professional in nursing, x-ray, or sonography. Southwest University offers flexible schedules and short terms for you to finish faster. Don't wait. Be heard at Southwest University and take the next step in your professional journey today. For more information, visit us at southwestuniversity.edu. Southwest University, 25 years making you happen.
Well, it's no secret that with the baby boomer generation reaching full retirement age, we're seeing more retirements in the U.S. than ever before. As a record number of employees begin to exit the workforce, many are left wondering, what will the true impact be? Joining us live is investment advisor Brian Myro. Thanks for joining us today, Brian.
Well, happy to be here today, Nicole.
Well, there seems to be more retirements than ever in our country these days. What exactly are the numbers on that, and is it as many as it seems?
Well, Nicole, you know, a record 4.1 million Americans are set to turn 65 this year, and each year through 2027. Now, although not all those boomers are going to hang it up, the surge of freshly minted 65-year-olds will likely mean record retirements as well. So to answer your question, yes, it's a lot. We're hitting record numbers of retirees.
So what impact could this have on the overall economy?
Well, many industries will be affected by this surge in retirees. You know, according to an article from USA Today, we have some data on what industries are going to be hit the hardest. First of all, it's wholesale trade, which is 27.6% of their workers over the age of 55 are going to retire. And this is your middlemen and your distributors that sells goods and other products to wholesalers or retailers. And then second, we have what they call the other services, and 27% of their workers over the age of 55. And this category includes repair and maintenance, religious, civic, and professional organizations. And then we have financial activities, which is your investment banks, your insurance companies, and real estate firms, and 26.3% of their workers over the age of 55. And then we have public administration, which 25.4% of their workforce is over the age of 55. And these are mostly our government jobs. Now, as people retire, there may be a shortage of workers, particularly in industries that rely heavily on experienced employees. And this can lead to increased competition for talent, which potentially could be driving up wages. And also, this could put pressure on our economy and government in the way of Social Security and healthcare services that are being strained.
So do you think that Social Security system will be impacted?
Well, a large number of retirees can put pressure on pension systems and Social Security, especially if the ratio of workers to retirees declines. Now, the government may need to adjust benefits, increase taxes, or raise the retirement age to maintain the sustainability on these different systems. Now, however, according to the Social Security Administration, funds are set to be fully paid out through 2037. Now, after that, things could get a little hairy if Congress can't figure out their next steps to get more funding. So the good thing is we've got some years for them to figure it out.
So what about the healthcare system? Could that be impacted by more retirees as well?
Well, the main thing that it will affect is the individual's ability to keep up with cost. You know, as retirees live longer, they have more medical bills, and Medicare only pays part of this and doesn't cover long-term care costs and assisted nursing for older retirees. Now, according to the Fidelity Retiree Healthcare Cost Estimate, a single person age 65 in 2023 may need approximately $157,000 saved, and that's after-tax dollars, to cover healthcare expenses in retirement. So an average retired couple age 65 in 2023 may need $315,000 saved, and this amount's going up each year.
So how should retirees deal with these costs?
Well, Nicole, the main thing is that this must be talked about for folks heading into retirement or those who are already retired. You know, many retire and don't have a plan for healthcare costs. You know, we run a retirement analysis for all our clients that can help plan for these costs. And today, we're offering a free in-depth retirement analysis for all of our viewers. And in our retirement analysis, we answer that big question of, do you have enough? Do you have enough to retire or continue in the retirement of your dreams? And also, Nicole, we're offering a free complimentary copy of my book titled Smart Money for the Backside of Life for anyone wanting to set a visit. And in my book, I discuss many different aspects of financial and retirement planning that folks deal with.
Well, text RETIRE to 915-233-2904 for your free tax analysis, and you can set a visit to receive a copy of an appointment to receive a copy of Brian's new book, Smart Money for the Backside of Life. You can also visit their website. Brian, thanks as always.
Nicole, thanks for having me.
Well, still ahead, how should you approach your student about events that happened at Franklin High School today? Dr. Tricia Stallings will join us live after the break.
Smart Money is sponsored by Myro Capital Management.
If you have family and friends that live out of town, send them a taste of El Paso with unique gifts from Mission Del Rey Southwest. You'll find anything and everything that is the essence of El Paso and the great Southwest. What do you say? Visit Mission Del Rey today, 1421 Lee Trevino.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA. It's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD. With the pulling power to prove it. Tow hitches of the world, prepare for glory. Get 5.9% APR for 84 months on Sierra heavy-duty Denali models. That's almost $7,000 in average finance savings.
Sometimes life makes choices for us, so we need to make the most of the choices we do have. If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, then El Paso Health Medicare Advantage Plan is for you. This local plan offers supplemental benefits like dental, vision, over-the-counter, and much more. El Paso Health Medicare Advantage also has programs designed to keep you independent and healthy. You have choices. Choose local. El Paso Health Medicare Advantage.
The almighty dollar has shrunk.
On a fixed income, it's very hard at the grocery store. It just hurts you in the pocketbook.
Martin Heinrich, where is he?
What has he done for New Mexico? I don't see anything.
Martin Heinrich has failed us.
I am a registered Democrat. I have been all my life, but
We need a change.
Someone that will stand up for the people. We need Nella.
Nella Dominici will deliver that leadership.
I'm Nella Dominici. I approve this ad.
The trucks keep coming. Yes, twice as many GMC and Buick trucks and SUVs are arriving by loaded transporters. So Casa Buick GMC held a very successful Sunday sales event to expedite the sale of over 100 GMC trucks and SUVs to relieve the excess inventory. But the trucks keep coming. So management says keep it going. Maximize the trade-in. Minimize the prices. You win and Casa Buick GMC win. GMC Sierra Denali, $13,050 off MSRP. Buick Encore GX, $5,050 off MSRP. And used cars start at $777 with many under $10,000. Today at Casa Buick GMC, only by the airport location, Montana at Airway.
We continue with our complete coverage of the Franklin High School shooting. Now, we've been bringing you updates since Good Morning El Paso. We also brought you breaking news coverage on ABC-7 at noon. An El Paso ISD police officer shot and killed a man at Franklin High School. As a result, the district had to cancel classes and activities at the school for the rest of the day today. Now, this impacted several employees at ABC-7, and I'm sure it may have impacted some of you at home, especially if you have a student that goes to Franklin. So we reached out to the director of clinical services at El Paso Behavioral Health just to get a better understanding of how to talk to your kids after dealing with certain trauma. And joining us now is Dr. Tricia Stallings. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Nicole.
Well, Dr. Stallings, as I mentioned, this did impact some of our ABC-7 family members. Some students were up early for activities and were at the campus when the shooting actually happened. So many of the parents, especially here, expressed fear when they got the phone call from their kids. So as parents, what can we do to help our kids after we experience something like this?
Honestly, the best suggestion I can give people is to have an honest conversation with your kids. If they're afraid, if they have fear, if they have nerves, anxiety about going back to school, identify that. Allow them to feel what they feel. We want your children to be able to feel safe at school, and that's a place they're supposed to be able to feel safe. And knowing there were students there on campus this morning is really difficult for a lot of parents to have that conversation and be open. Let them express how they feel. If they're sad, it's okay. We'd have to validate those emotions and move through them, but also encourage them to return to their everyday normal lives, because we have to move through these negative impacts and allow them to feel those emotions.
I do think it's very important to have that open relationship. And also, the National Institute of Mental Health says that every year children and adolescents experience disasters and other traumatic events. But not only that, but there's also social media. We have to deal with that. So we compete with the rumors and what's posted on the web. So how can we have these conversations and then still address their concerns?
One thing that's really important is parents need to know where they're getting their information from also. If you're getting your information from TikTok, Instagram, the same places your kids are, they probably aren't the true information about the event. And having that conversation and getting information from the news, from a reliable source, and talking about what's actually happening, not what they heard, what they think they heard, what somebody put out on TikTok, is essential, because those rumors just continue to grow. Social media should not be where we get our information from, but unfortunately with teenagers these days, that's 90% of where they get it from.
The rumors spread like wildfire. So can you talk to us about some of the do's and don'ts and how we can make sure our children and teens are safe and that their basic needs are being addressed?
I think the biggest thing is to have the conversation. If they're really struggling with the fact that this happened at their school, if they're struggling with the idea of going back to school, reach out and talk to someone. El Paso Behavioral Health is available, but there are other resources in our community if your student is just scared. Encourage them to be able to feel those emotions and talk with you, talk with their friends. And the more we can do that, we can reach out to the resources in our community. If we try to bottle it all up and pretend like it's not happening, or we ignore the conversation, it's going to make it worse for our kids, because they don't know who they can talk to then. Because if you can't talk to your parents, who can you talk to?
And where can we find help?
And I hate to say the internet, because I know that's not a great one to do, but you can also find your local resources. Look up your local mental health authority. Look at the resources that are very available in your community. I know there's a Be Mindful you have on your website. There's information there. If they're in crisis, there's that 911 line. The 988 is now a text app that you can use if you're in mental health crisis. But there are people available to talk to. We have to just look for those phone numbers.
Dr. Stallings, thank you so much for joining us and for your insight this afternoon.
Thank you, Nicole.
We'll be right back.
When we're working your case, we know that having some of the best people in Texas is what helps get the most for you.
We always keep sight of who we work for, and we think big.
Call the law firm Insurance Company Sphere. Loncar Lyon Jenkins.
Speaking Rock presents In the End, a Lincoln Park Experience tribute on Saturday, August 24th. Doors open at 6 p.m. 21 years of age and over are welcome. For more info, visit our Facebook page. In the End, a Lincoln Park Experience tribute, live on August 24th, only at Speaking Rock in El Paso, Texas.
Don't miss the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of El Paso. Take advantage of spectacular summer savings on our spectacular selection. Get 0% APR on all new 2025 Outbacks, or get 2.9% APR for 72 months on all new 2024 Crosstracks, plus complimentary maintenance included.
Only at Subaru of El Paso.
Visit us at 1444 Airway Boulevard or shop online at SubaruElPaso.com.
Now open, La Madeleine French Cafe. Now located at East Lake Marketplace. Enjoy all your French favorites, now with drive-thru service available. See you there.
We've handpicked some of the best people in Texas to make sure our clients get all of the money they deserve.
And in the end, that's what makes the difference.
Call the law firm Insurance Company Sphere. Loncar Lyon Jenkins.
Get your accurate, reliable ABC-7 Storm Track weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Dr. Dave Spielman. Weekday mornings and evenings on KELP Radio.
At Rudolph Chevrolet, we buy cars. We're at I-10 and Red Road.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 4.
Welcome back to ABC-7 at 4. I'm Nicole Gomez, and if you're just joining us this afternoon, let's get you up to date on some of today's top stories. Now, this is a live look at the United Center in Chicago, where Vice President Kamala Harris takes the stage tonight. And it's the fourth and final day of the DNC. Again, Vice President Kamala Harris will take the stage to convey her story and contrast her vision for America with that of her GOP challenger. Julia Binbrook joins us from Chicago.
Vice President Kamala Harris set to deliver her acceptance speech as the party's nominee for president at the Democratic National Convention, capping off a star-studded week spotlighting the party's most prominent players.
Kamala will be that president.
Advisors say part of what she will convey tonight is her story, her personal and professional background, as a prosecutor, a fighter, a daughter of a single middle-class mother, and more.
I look forward to Vice President Harris talking to the American people and telling her that she's one of them.
She's also expected to contrast her vision for America with that of former President Donald Trump, a theme speakers have hammered home all week.
Don't count the lies. Count the eyes.
We see a mountain in front of us. We don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top.
Polling shows Harris entered the convention with a slight lead among registered voters nationwide.
The Democratic enthusiasm is off the charts. We're seeing record signups to volunteer, to phone bank, to door knock.
Democrats hoping to turn the swell of momentum into a movement that propels Harris into the Oval Office.
I think tonight she could take this from sort of a campaign to an actual movement where you see across the country folks just feeling like I'm now part of something bigger.
Well, ABC News will air primetime coverage of the DNC starting at 7 p.m. tonight. You can also stream the event by downloading the KVIA News app and watch it on our website at kvia.com. Well, former President Donald Trump took a tour of the southern border today. He was in Arizona. Trump's campaign says this week has been focused on events on major policy issues ahead of November, including the economy, crime, and immigration. The tour comes just a day before he and his running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, held a campaign rally in Glendale, Arizona. Vance is holding a rally tonight in Georgia. And Olivia Troy, a former Trump administration official from El Paso, spoke at the DNC. According to El Paso Matters, she explained to delegates why she is supporting Kamala Harris for president. She said that she is a Republican who dreamed of working at the White House. Troy took to the stage and expressed why she left the Trump administration 4 years ago.
I saw how Donald Trump undermined our intelligence community, our military leaders, and ultimately our democratic process.
Again, you can watch complete coverage tonight of the DNC, which starts at 7 on ABC-7. And our ABC-7 Chief Meteorologist, Doppler Spillman, is here with a look at your first forecast. Hi, Doppler.
Yeah, hi, Nicole. And, you know, we're certainly dealing with some heat, triple-digit temperatures. But if you look across the area right away, the folks in the Panhandle, Texas Panhandle, poor Amarillo, look at that, 107. You got 105 in Lubbock. Maybe some of your kids are attending Texas Tech. And we have 103 out there in Midland, Odessa. So very hot. Phoenix, 107. Tucson, 92. And we are at 101 degrees. But there is some hope for some rain for some of you. Here's what we're tracking. Not a lot showing up on Doppler radar. You can see everything is southbound into Mexico and heading northbound. Nothing significant. But like last night, some of these storms can intensify a bit as they make their way up towards the north and run into maybe a little bit better moisture supply. But there's south of town, down in Chihuahua. You can see some of the showers and storms. Not a whole lot of lightning coming out of these cells as of this point, but we have a chance of a thunderstorm in here tonight. I'll talk more about it coming up in weather, Nicole.
Thank you, Doppler. Let's take a look at the roads with the ABC-7 Text.traffic camera. And here's our camera at I-10 in Piedras, where, as you can see, traffic is flowing just fine. Well, the Miners return to University Field tonight for their home opener. Our sports director, Adrian Ochoa, sat down with the head coach of the UTEP soccer team. He explains how the team is getting ready to give it their all.
ABC-7 is the official home of the UTEP Miners, and I'm happy to be joined by the UTEP soccer coach, Gibbs Keaton, and Kayla Hudson. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Coach Keaton, you guys are coming off a scoreless draw at Abilene Christian. Later today, you guys will have your home opener against Texas A&M Commerce. After the season opener last week, how's the team looking?
You know what, we're really excited to be back home in front of our fans. We felt like we had a lot of success of community support and playing for our fans here at University Field, so it's going to be a great day, and we're excited to have another 90 minutes in El Paso.
And Kayla, what was some of your takeaways after the season opener at Abilene Christian?
It was a great start for the girls to get the feeling of how season's going to be, and I think a lot of girls were really excited, and the effort was there, and all of like the grittiness we talk about preparing during fall or summer workouts and everything. So I think a lot of the girls and I am excited for today.
Coach Keaton, you were telling me 9 returners this season, and your newcomers to the team. Just how's this team looking? What are some of the new faces on the team that fans should look forward to seeing?
Yeah, I think as a coach, it's a dilemma that you want. You know, you have 9 starters that have learned how you want to play and what the standard and expectation is, and then we're bringing 11 talented players in to compete for those spots. So we've created a very competitive environment, and we're excited for all of our players. We're also excited for a few players that returned from injury last year that helped us a lot in the first game. So there's a lot of potential on our team, and I think that the fans will really enjoy all of those players that are new to the starting lineup and the veterans as well.
And Kayla, what have you seen from the squad? You're a veteran on the team, and what have you seen from the newcomers and to the returners that have come this season?
I've seen a lot of different talents, a lot of strengths within these girls that are coming in, so it's all just bringing together one big, strong team. And so I think everyone has their role, and it's playing all together, so I'm really excited for it.
Coach Keaton, this is your second full season as the UTEP head soccer coach. What are just some of the challenges that you face as you come into your second full season?
I think when you're in year 2, we're looking to work harder than year 1. I think that's a constant for players and staff, that we expect a little bit more as far as what we're going to offer to the team and what the team needs to offer to us. It's a process that we've been following for over a year, and we expect that to have some results associated with it, and that's a little bit of the passing of the baton to the players and let them be themselves out on the field, and that's something that we're really excited about for year 2, to see what they can do in between the lines, and especially at University Field.
And Kayla, how are you excited being back at University Field for the home opener? I know the fans they come out and they're cheering loud and proud for you guys. How's excited to have the home opener now later today?
I love playing at University Field, and you know, we've been able to bring more people out and watching these games, so it makes it just more live and more exciting for everyone to play for people as well, because it does bring the community together, and we're really big about culture for our team, so it just really ties in like UTEP soccer.
Yeah, and Coach Keaton, as you move forward, obviously the goal, hopefully make the conference tournament. What's it going to take for this squad as you move forward into the season to make that tournament, hopefully?
I think the answer to that question is a little bit of coach speak, so sorry to give it to you, but we're going to have to go 1 minute at a time every single game, and we're going to have to be together for those minutes. And I think with that we can achieve a lot. You know, we're pursuing something big that hasn't happened at UTEP in a while, and I think we have the right group to stay with a narrowed focus and achieve big things.
Kayla, we'll let you have the last word. Any message you have for the fans on why they should come out and support you guys this season?
I would love to see everyone out there and support the girls and support our journey to the conference tournament this year. But yeah, thank you for joining.
Well, thank you very much, Coach Keaton. Best of luck this season. Again, the home opener later tonight at University Field, 7 p.m. kickoff against Texas A&M Commerce. My thanks again to Coach Keaton and Kayla Hudson. Best of luck this season.
Thanks, Adrian.
Picks up. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Adrian. There's still more to come on ABC 7 at 4. Doppler Dave will have your complete storm track weather forecast after the break.
Hey, Zach, guess what?
Is it time? Is it time? I've been waiting and waiting.
Yes, it's that time.
All right, the Borderland Blitz is back for its 45th season.
The best highlights from your favorite teams.
And the sweet plays from the Borderlands' best players. Plus all the silent action for the fans, band, and cheerleaders. This fall, the hits are on the Blitz. The Borderland Blitz, Friday, August 30th at 10:35 p.m. Only on ABC-7, sponsored by Southwest University.
ABC-7 Extra at 10 with Paul Cicala and Stephanie Valle, going beyond the headlines to bring you extra context, depth, and perspective. Only on ABC-7, where news comes first.
How long have you been dreaming about retirement? The day when you don't have to set your alarm and you're free to spend your days the way you want. These could be the best years of your life, but running out of income could turn these daydreams into nightmares. I'd love to help make sure that your income is there as long as you need it in retirement. And it all starts with an analysis of your finances and your income. Contact me today so we can help you get started.
Shopping online for a Purple mattress? We get it. With Purple's unique Gel Flex grid and multiple foam layers, you'll experience effortless sleep that's motion adaptive, temperature balanced, pressure relieving, and ultra supportive. But which Purple mattress is right for you? Come to Denver Mattress and test for yourself. During Purple's Labor Day sale, save up to $1,000 on mattress and base bundles and get an instant gift. Shop Purple at Denver Mattress, the easiest way to find your perfect Purple.
At Toyota's National Sales Event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Right now, qualified buyers get 3.99% APR financing for 72 months or $3,000 customer cash on a new 2024 Tundra iForce Max.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Well, every day we should take the opportunity to show respect for seniors' accomplishments and the influence they have on our lives. Now, President Ronald Reagan in 1988 made Senior Citizens Day official with a proclamation. And a recent census count shows there are 47 million seniors living in the U.S. That's a number expected to nearly double by the year 2060. Now, if you're looking to brighten a senior's day, now could be the perfect time to maybe volunteer at a retirement home. And joining us now is Dr. Alozi, and we've been told many times before that we need to respect our elders.
As Nigerian,
right?
I'm told that all the time.
Oh, all the time. We still do. In fact, this is a phrase that most children hear throughout their lives. Well, Senior Citizen Day is all about respecting your elders, so today is all about them. So, Doctor, can you talk to us about some important facts about seniors?
Well, you already kicked it off, right? So we're expecting over the next 28 to 30 years that the percentage of the population that is above 65 is going to be doubled, right? So we're going to go from 47 million to about 80 to 85 million. And that's not surprising, right? Because baby boomers have made up the largest segment of this population for a very long time. As they get older, that percentage of the population gets older.
But every senior is different.
Yes, so I think it's really important to understand if you have a tia or a tio, an abuelita, an abuelito, that they're all different, right? Some of them are skateboarding and motorcycling, and some of them are not, unfortunately, right? They need care. It may not be 24-hour care, but they live with you. They may be in a facility that's assisted living, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. But I will say this, if you have an older relative, it's never too late for them to get healthy enough so that they're older. It's always better to be the oldest person in the gym than the youngest person in the nursing home.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, what are some of the influences that may impact their health?
You know, so my mom turns 80 next year, and so I'm talking to her about a lot of this, right? It's behaviors that you have, activities. A lot of the age-related changes can be a affected by what you do, whether it's reading or puzzles. If you have a chronic disease, hypertension and diabetes is huge in our society and in our community. But again, whether you're in assisted living, you need transportation, you need social, whatever it is, there are ways to cope with these things and not be a quote-unquote burden on your family, but more importantly, not be a burden to yourself as you get older.
Well, as seniors get older, we've heard stories about them falling. So sad, heartbreaking. But what causes falls in older adults?
You know, a lot of it can be age-related things like arthritis, right? Somebody may have had a knee replacement, a hip replacement. Age-related eye changes are huge, right? People can't see, and like we talked about the other week, they don't want to wear glasses, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to get their cataracts removed. They may have glaucoma that has led them to have vision loss. And what's really critical and sad about that sometimes is that people then fall. Your 1 year mortality after a fall, especially if you're female, can be up to 50% in some situations.
Oh,
so
wow.
if an older person falls, that's a disastrous event, and you want to avoid that as much as possible.
Well, that's good to know. Talk to us about signs of dementia.
Yeah, so a lot of people say, well, I forgot my keys. I forget my keys all the time, right? Or I forgot a meeting, or if I don't have my phone, I don't remember what I'm doing half the time. That's not dementia. That's just age-related changes. But if you forget bills consistently, if you don't know the day, time, or year consistently, that's very, very different. Those are conversations that you then need to have with your loved one or your friend and try to figure out what to do about them. There's some medications, there's some early exercises that train the brain that you can get better with and help your brain still keep intact. But again, it's important to identify those things early because after a while it gets too late.
Well, what are some other ways to help boost your health?
I mean, we talk about this all the time, right? A lot of those things are keep healthy. I will say this, if you're able to, if you're an older person listening to this or you have a family member, activity is huge. And I know as you get older, you get tired, right? But you got to stay active, whether it's swimming, whether it's water aerobics, whether it's just walking, right? Simple gardening can be those things. Puzzles, Legos, and anything that keeps your mind going is huge. Really important to get people that are getting older to engage in mind activities. And even if you're not older, do those things that are important long term.
Start young. What about
Absolutely.
some helpful resources for us?
Well, I think one of the biggest things, and I always say this, you need to at some point in time engage with healthcare so that you can have a navigator of your healthcare as you get older. If you have a loved one, however, that's already gotten older, make sure they get their eyes checked, right?
Okay.
Make sure that they get their ears checked. Hearing is huge too, right? See a neurologist if you need to. And do physical therapy. We often think about physical therapy as something that happens after you've broken something or after you've injured something. You can do physical therapy just to stay fit or to understand what you need for your body to keep strong. Those are the keys. Hey, we want to get older healthily and not hurtfully.
Yeah, we want to
just
look
made that
good.
up
We
on
want to
the
feel
fly.
good as
Yeah,
well. Dr.
absolutely.
Lozzi, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
joining us as
I
always.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's get to storm track weather now. Doppler Davis standing by with your forecast. Hi, Doppler.
All right, hi, Nicole. And, you know, we're tracking a few isolated showers out there. Not a big deal right now. Love to get some of that rain. I know a lot of you folks throughout El Paso County hoping that we could see some of these showers build. This one is actually weakening, though, as we watch it move up towards the north. These are weakening, too. There's Tornillo. Maybe see a few sprinkles, maybe a little gusty wind, so can't rule that out. A little blowing dust and sand. A lot of these storms, as they weaken, that rain comes out of it, and it just produces some blowing dust and sand with very little rainfall. 101 right now, 98 in Las Cruces, 99 in Alamogordo, 97 out there in Deming, Silver City at 89. You folks in Van Horn, Sierra Blanca, hanging out in the upper 90s for you folks. We hit a triple today. You know what we hit so far? 103, and that tied a record for this date. Now, usually September, that is always a month that, you know, we can almost write off triples. However, last year we had 10 of them in the month of September. And typically we end our triples by August 3rd. But we've already had our 16th triple so far this month in August. Last year we had 14. So we are above that, and we have a couple of more to go. At least looks pretty good tomorrow and maybe even Saturday. All right, here's a look at our latest Future Track computer model. Notice by 7 o'clock, model wants to bring in a little wave of energy, maybe an isolated shower storm. They're all going to continue to track from the south to the north tonight, so we'll have an opportunity. We'll also have that opportunity for some gusty outflow winds tonight and maybe just getting some rain out of some of these cells. Probably not going to see much rain. You get one of these storms, you know, you might be able to pick up 0.05 of an inch. Maybe 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. And now if you look at our tomorrow night, a lot of the storms will be out towards the west of us, and tracking north, but still we could see a little outflow boundary move in here from some of these storms and give us a chance of seeing some rain. All right, 103 tomorrow. We'll match what we had today, 100 on Saturday. Then we start to see those temperatures come down. Upper 90s, maybe some low 90s as we make our way into next week, as we bring in some added moisture and we bring in some added clouds, keeping those temps down into the lower 90s. So hopefully maybe even the upper 80s would be nice, Nicole, as well. We'll take a break. Be back after this.
ABC-7's News Ticker, sponsored by University Medical Center.
Oh, here we go. NXT is moving to the CW. NXT premieres October 1st on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
Want a lower payment? Get $500 more for your trade-in when you trade in and trade up at Sisbaro Buick GMC. New Buick SUVs, GMC trucks, and certified pre-owned vehicles. Plus $500 more for your trade-in in Las Cruces.
Nobody beats the Sisbaro deal. Guaranteed.
The popular mattress Labor Day sale
starts now.
Doorbuster Queen Memory Foam Mattress only $299. Twins as low as $99. Save up to $800 on the largest selection of Simmons, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and our very own popular mattress brand. Save up to $700 on Tempur-Pedic. Save up to 70% on our huge selection of closeout models. Take advantage of 0 down, 0 interest for 60 months, or no credit needed.
Only at Popular Mattress.
Thank you very much y muchas gracias.
You didn't live this strong, this long, to get put on the shelf like a porcelain doll. If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and are at high risk for fracture, you can build new bone with Evenity. Ask your doctor if you could do more than just slowing down bone loss with Evenity. Want stronger bones? Then build new bone. Evenity can help in just 12 months. Evenity is proven to reduce spine fracture risk by 73%.
Evenity can increase risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a cardiovascular problem. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions and low blood calcium have occurred. Tell your doctor about jawbone problems, as they have been reported with Evenity, or about pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred.
Don't let a break put you on a shelf. Talk to your doctor about building new bone with Evenity.
You can save up to $5,400 off new Volkswagens at Sisbaro in Las Cruces. Choose from over 75 new VWs in stock with financing as low as 0.9%. Shop Sisbaro in Las Cruces and save.
Get your Sisbaro deal today.
Rise and shine, El Paso.
Start your day the right way.
When breaking news happens that could impact your day, or when the forecast warns of adverse weather
That may also affect your morning commute.
Good Morning El Paso is here to keep you informed before you step foot out that door with breaking news, weather, and traffic on the 7s.
And the most current, up-to-the-minute information.
There's only one way to start your day, the right way. Good Morning El Paso, everything you need to get you out the door.
Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m. only on ABC-7.
Well, Stephanie Vaya joins me now with a preview of ABC-7 at 5. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Nicole, and good afternoon, everyone. Coming up on ABC-7 at 5, Customs and Border Protection plans to deploy aerostat technology right here in El Paso. We look into when this new technology is set to arrive in the borderland and how officials hope it will be useful to the community. Plus, emergency crews rushed a woman to the hospital due to serious injuries. What we know about the incident, and we continue with our complete coverage of the deadly shooting early this morning at Franklin High School. I'll have those stories and more coming up at the top of the hour, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Also coming up, we'll have another look at your storm track weather forecast. Stay with us.
Putting our foot down to keep our feet up, like way up, with Lazy Boy.
We worked overtime. Now it's TV time.
It's the Lazy Boy Labor Day sale. Save up to 30% store-wide. Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
EF Building Materials has been serving the Sun City and the Southwest for over 40 years, offering the region's largest selection of brick, stone, veneer, landscaping products, and floor tiles. Let us take care of your every need, starting with a delivery to your front door. Whether you desire brick pavers, stone veneers, terracotta tiles, stepping stones, or travertine marble, we have it all. Along with our quality selection, EF Building Materials gives you our word of dependability and durability with every product sold. Don't wait. Pick up the phone to place your order today.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money.
Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Get $5,750 total cash allowance on this Silverado LT with a 5.3-liter engine that's 10% below MSRP. Chevy drives Texas. Together, let's drive.
Socorro ISD makes learning innovative. Our new elementary academies offer unique programs to inspire, challenge, and prepare us for success. Seize your opportunity in Team SISD.
Viva makes it happen with a 2024 Nissan Sentra. This month only, lease a 2024 Nissan Sentra for $229 a month for 36 months. Hurry in today to Viva Nissan on Zaragoza because Viva makes it happen.
We're putting our foot down to keep our feet up, like way up, with Lazy Boy.
We worked overtime. Now it's TV time.
It's the Lazy Boy Labor Day sale. Save up to 30% store-wide. Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
Take it away!
Tonight.
This is amazing! We're feeling like...
Looking for fun?
Stop! No whammy!
Are you in luck?
Stop! Who doesn't want that? We all need that!
Press your luck tonight on ABC.
All right, not too bad, but we're at New Mexico State. In fact, pretty nice. I don't see any students. Well, we see a few students walking around out there. Second day officially of classes out there, so maybe they're all in the library doing some homework or in their room getting some homework done, hopefully. But we'll be tracking maybe an isolated storm for you. That's going to be a little bit later on tonight. Texas farmers irrigating. You know, New Mexico farmers can't use the river anymore, so if they have a well, that's what they can do. But they can't get any river water any longer for certainly the season now. So it's Texas and Mexico farmers. But here's what we're looking at. Temps going to work their way into the 90s. There will be a chance of an isolated shower, a little pop-up thunderstorm. And with some of these pop-up storms, you know, the winds could pick up a little bit, cause a little blowing dust and sand. Probably not going to get a whole lot of rain out of these storms, but you may see some lightning. Here's some cracks of thunder out there as well, Nicole.
All right, Doppler, thank you. Let's take another live look at the roads with the ABC-7 Text traffic cameras. And here is our camera at Iton and Copia, where, as you can see, traffic is moving slowly. It looks like the eastbound lane, so just be careful as you're leaving work, headed home at this hour. Now, you just might have a chance to become half a billionaire in time for the weekend. The jackpot for Friday night's Mega Millions drawing is estimated at $527 million. That's because no one's won the big prize since June 4th. In fact, only 2 people have won it this year. By this time last year, the jackpot had been hit 8 times. Now, the odds don't change, though. You still have less than a 1 in 300 million chance of winning. But hey, you have to try. You got to play to win. That's what they say. Well, thanks for watching ABC7 at 4. The news continues after the break with Stephanie Valle on ABC7 at 5. I'll see you tomorrow.
Download the ABC-7 Storm Track weather app now from the App